Aries.
Hello Aries, this is your forecast for July 2014. Now Mars is your ruler, so you're normally pretty good at, steering that Mars, but it's been opposing here your rising sign. It is in your 7th house, and normally 6 weeks, we can all deal with an area for 6 weeks, but it's been here since December 8th. And now Mars is going to be leaving this area. That's one good news here, but that won't be before July 27th, okay? Then it's shifting out of the area of Libra, moving into Scorpio. And Mars and Scorpio, they work really well together. It's the ancient ruler of Scorpio, and it's going to be focusing on a totally different area, so it won't be this very like one-on-one. Then we have here also Jupiter is going to be changing signs on us this month. It's moving out of your 4th house where it's been for nearly a full year. So you've been looking at expanding the grounds of home, family, and your roots, and how this area has been pretty much pinpointing security. The financial, of course, is one thing. A lot of you might have moved and migrated a little bit, all due to work situations, as Jupiter has been like working in an opposition here to your career. So some of you might have had a lot of career changes, which has resulted in moves and so forth, or the way how you live. Your foundation has been somewhat triggered. And yeah, when we're looking at a full year, we feel that at the end of a cycle. That's when we kind of like feel that things a little heavy. But this is going to be moving now this month into your 5th house. Okay, so that's going to be from July 17th, expanding your area of fun, joy, leisure. So here comes the updrift after all the work, all the stress that I know many of you have had. Now Jupiter is going to start giving you, letting up on, so you can take some time off and do those things that you enjoy the most, all right? And 5th house is also self-expression. You're going to feel a whole lot more optimistic and be able to express it, and you can't express it unless things now start falling into place. So you really have something to be joyous about. And also children rules the area of children, so you might see changes with them. And in this case, it should be good and positive changes too. Now, 5th house, creative projects. Some of you, because of whatever has been pressurizing you here in your career, some of you, since you are very entrepreneurial by nature, Aries, I see that some of you might have started thinking outside of the box. If the career thing up here isn't working, maybe I could do this, and then I see how you've been focusing creatively on maybe, just maybe, taking that leap of faith, going it on your own, setting up your own home business, or starting any other kind of business, or expanding upon a business. And you know what? That is the blessing also of Jupiter, not just because now it's moving into that 5th house where it can come out, but this is where we have to thank the challenges of this year that has passed, that has, it takes pressure to create a diamond. So as heavy as it has been with the Grand Cross, the squares, the oppositions, it has ultimately really funneled you through that bottleneck so that now you can start seeing the consequences of it. So, Jupiter sometimes gives us gifts right away where it falls into our lap. Sometimes it will come right smack in the aftermath of these transits, as a result of good work put in, if you put in that good work, So not always do things just fall in our lap. We have to sweat it, right? But God knows, Aries, you've been doing a very, very good job, and I know that you're now so deserving of just enjoying life again and being able to take a deep breath and relax and participate a little bit more on the creative edge, the impulsive edge, not being so, should I say, held in on these patterns. It's like you need to be free. You're a free spirit, you know, and you can achieve a lot of things in a very short amount of time when you have that free will, that free motion. But it's like the universe has been holding you in this chain, and I think that is what has been the most exhausting for you. But you know what? The leash is nearly off starting this month, and then the rest of the year can only get better from here. But let's talk a little bit about this one challenge that is coming up. It's on the full moon here. Full moon here is going to be on the 12th, and it's a little special moon for you, Aries, because it is triggering what has been in that ground cross for you earlier. But at this time, I'm seeing more, it's coming in as a finale, okay? This is for you to really push through. The full moon will be conjuncting Pluto. Pluto is powerful, but Pluto is also transformational. It's the end of things, but it's also the alpha omega. It's the beginning of things. This is why I want you to really focus on the 12th, the days, the week leading up to it. You know, go through your mind, look at the trends that has been going on and what is going on now, so that you can start formulating a picture so that you'll know exactly what may come to you on the 12th. Now, this full moon and Pluto's in your 10th house for career. And so that can mean different things for, you know, all of you without seeing your natal planets, which I can't see from here. But in your solar chart, this is the career house, and then it's also opposing then the 4th house, which is home and family. Now, the day before and the hours prior to this full moon conjuncting Pluto, what it's going to be doing, it's also going to be creating an opposition to the sun, which is in your 4th house. Okay, so now here we go again. It's touching a little bit upon this challenge that has been ongoing. So it's between your career, home, family, and you'll feel this stretch. And the moon, of course, is our emotional state. So there might be some reactions, a lot of feelings coming out. Purging, coming through. The purge is Pluto. And the sun and the moon, that's your two luminaries. So it's your inner, outer self that is going to be touched in this. So without seeing your natal chart right here, what I feel can come from this is more a sense of decision time for you, making a concrete decision, or it could also be an offer coming to you. In that case, whatever this full moon is now bestowing upon you, it's going to trigger a change that I know that you might already sense what is, okay? So July 12th, keep that on your chart. It's going to be a full moon in Capricorn. So a Capricorn moon is all about goals. It's about achievements. It's about success. It's about climbing, getting there. And having Pluto in that 10th house, this is why I'm feeling you might just be able to achieve something. Those of you who are still at school taking exams or whatnot, well, you're beyond exam time. But after that, it's like here comes the beginning of new. This is what we want to look at. It's the beginning of new that you can now expect from this day onwards. Then we have Venus. Let's talk a little bit about love, love, love this month here. It is in the sign of Gemini. And I posted a video, what you can expect, so we can go a little deeper into it. Love and romance here for July, which will be posted July 1st, by the way. But the Gemini Venus is already up for June, so you might listen to that. But yes, this month is going to be all about communication, how you communicate with your partner, what he or she is communicating to you. So it's all about listening, taking in, sharing, and devoting that time. And maybe, you know, a short trip or maybe a series of small short trips like weekend getaways, if not a full-blown vacation for all of you. But it is a great time to take some time off, do some sightseeing, and get out and about and have those beautiful vistas. But Gemini Venus is all about sharing and verbalizing your emotional state, your being, where you are, what you want, your desires and wishes. Great time to put that out there, but also listen to your partner, because he or she might be, you know, bringing things up as tips to you, what will make them happy. And that's what it's all about. We want to see our partners happy, right? Mercury here now is retrograde until July 1st. So it is going to turn here on the first day of the month. So all of June, you're just flushing through. And if you're listening to this on the June end of this forecast, you're still in the retrograde. But as you start off here July 1st, it is going to be in your third house. So communication, travel, contracts, any kind of negotiations might have been going back and forth on that here in June, but here as of top of the month, it's starting to move direct 24 degrees, all right? So it's going to take a little bit, it's going to move out of this area and then into home, family, and so forth. So hopefully those of you thinking about moving, that you didn't sign any contracts there in June, July, it's good. And just getting, you know, a few days, get it into a week, first week of July, when we're a little bit out of the shadow still lasts for a couple of weeks, but anytime after the 7th, even if it's, you know, the day after, you're better off, but it's always very volatile on the very day, you know, the planet turns, because it's still in that motion. So you might come to see that. You might be signing some contracts or leases or so forth here. As far as real estate, great time for real estate. Just because the sun is there too, you still have Jupiter in this area, all of that. And plus we have the new moon coming in here later this month, which will be on the 26th, meaning you'll have the sun, Mercury, the new moon, and Jupiter. And you know how we talk about the new moon intentions. So for those of you who hasn't made that transition from last year to now, thinking about moving, this would be the month, you know, to do so, or at least put down those intentions. The new moon will assist you and help you, and it is a very good new moon because it is conjunct Jupiter, before Jupiter really has, you know, left, it's leaving its trace there. Jupiter by that 22nd has already moved on the 17th into the 5th house, but it's going to occupy the place where Jupiter has been this whole last year, so you're picking up like the tail end of it. And since Jupiter now has moved already on the 17th into the 5th house, well, that's unleashing a lot of creative energy and travel and movement, all right? So we can see how those things might work out for you. All right, so on the 4th, we got that Sun-Pluto opposite where there's going to be a lot of emotions felt because we got the full moon involved also a little bit later, but the Sun is going to kick off that Pluto first on the 4th until the full moon on the 12th is going to kick in and replace what happens on the 4th. On the 7th, we got Venus and Uranus. That is love and relationships, the unexpected. Who knows what's going to happen here on the 7th? For you, it's all between the 1st and the 3rd house. So it's you, your personal level, change, and then something being communicated, or maybe somebody visiting also could be on the 7th. On the 8th, the Sun is going to incur with a square to Uranus. Uranus being in your 1st house, the Sun is in the 4th house. So there might be a decision coming up here at this time. Whatever that decision is, you're on safe ground because Mercury is direct right now. The 9th, whatever it is you're contemplating on the 8th, I always like to say, whenever in doubt, don't make a decision. Listen to your doubt. Just means all details might not have fell into place for you quite yet. But then on the 9th, boom, here you have your confirmation. Saturn here is going to trine, which means secure up. For you, something, maybe it's about funding. Maybe if you have, if you're closing on a house, it's, you know, it's the area of real estate. If you're closing on a house, waiting for a green light, and coming up towards a timeline, that's why you might feel a little stressed on the 8th. While at the 9th, you can probably hear some good news from it. Or maybe you're closing on a property where somebody's buying. Maybe, you know, they have been a little delayed or had little difficulties, and you might feel that something's falling apart. Well, don't act on anything before the 9th. Saturn's coming in with good news, followed by action and activity on the 13th. Venus and Mars, that's love and creativity, but it also rules money too. Trine with Mars, Mars is men and passion, but also action. So money and action, or love and relationship, well, it's harmonized here on the 13th. So great time to go do something fun or go celebrate. For you, this is going to be between the 3rd and 7th house. So I feel you and your partner will do absolutely well on this day. And if you're single, great time to meet somebody, you know, because the chemistry is way out there. Chemistry is great on this day. All those pheromones, right? So then we also have the 19th. We got a couple of things happening on that day. We have Mercury and Neptune. So it's more you communicating a hope, a wish, or a dream, kind of putting it out there, right? Which I think is good, because, you know, nothing is materialized in the physical 3D world unless we've thought it first or visualized it first. So you might come across something that's quite inspiring for you this day. And then also I see the Sun and Mars being square. Same day, it's like, well, maybe this wish is so strong, so felt, you know, heartfelt, that Mars might be a little antsy that it's not manifested right here, right now. It's not tangible, because the Sun wants to act on it, you know, and then Mars wants to act on it. So, but hold that vision, hold that thought, all right? And then see what happens as you nurture that thought. On the 22nd, we got Mercury and Pluto. They are opposing one another. Once again, that time of the month to make some deeper decisions. This is going to be in the area, again, between home and career. And I know this is like sounding like a broken record, because you've had the home and career and partnership energies going on now for the last 8 months. But this is like why I'm saying there's so much shifting for you. This is the last really big crunch time before you'll see how other energies are opening up to you by the end of this month, and then into August. You get a lot to look forward to in August. But this decision, yeah, it's mental, you know, it is your mind, it's Mercury, it's your communication. Might, or it can be a little fiery. Pluto can be that, but then again, Pluto will put end to those things that you've been working for, so that you can start new things. So this might be a time of the month where you can look for some kind of conclusions, all right? That's what we always want to look for. You have something conclusive coming in on the 4th, you have something conclusive coming in on the 22nd, then you also have something conclusive coming in on the 28th. So the 28th will be Venus. Venus is opposing Pluto as well, also here in the area of the home and family, and also work. Or when I say work, career, it could also be those goals that you've been working for, you know, trying to achieve. And since it's so much in this area of home and real estate, this might be the time that you will have something finalized and conclude right here. And it should be good, because Venus also here just a couple of days before, looks like there was some good news here between Venus and Neptune on the 24th. So as far as money matters and Neptune, well, that trine is good, you know, and that very same Venus is carrying that good news from the 24th into the conclusion for the 28th. If this is work related, career related, if you're having any talks there, any interviews going on, well, then the same would go for it. You're having your communications, your interviews, you know, all your applications looked at, and then, you know, expect something by the end of the month to come forward with that. So the shifts this month here, as far as the planetary shifts, opening up new dimensions, new doors, so you can get out of where you've been. Mars has been, you know, in your relationship area since December 8th, moving out of Libra into Scorpio on July 27th. Okay, so that's going to be a whole biggie for you, Aries. We have Venus, it's going to change signs from Gemini into Cancer on the 19th So you will see that it's going to be a whole lot more time spent and shared with family. You're going to be busy first part of the month, you know, with friends, neighbors, and whatnot, just being very social, but family-oriented energy from July 19th throughout the month. Same thing I would like to say about Mercury. July 14th, it's moving into the home and family area from the very social area. So as you can see, last 2 weeks of July is all about maybe family reunions, you know, traveling to visit or having them to come afar and visit you. And then, of course, the major shift of all the planetary shifts is what Jupiter is doing. For a whole year, it's been in the sign of Cancer, in this area of home. For you now, on the 17th, it's moving in to the joy house of fun, leisure, creativity, self-expression, children, hobbies, all those wonderful, wonderful things. So I want to leave you on that note. You have a lot to look forward to now, Aries, and be proud of yourself. You've come through some very tough months, but the best is now waiting for you in the coming months. And I'll see you next month, August. So have a good one. Bye now.